Your last act of the night, everybody. He's your favorite. He is your favorite. I've seen him kill here so many times, it's almost obnoxious. Please welcome to the stage the hilarious Mike Rita, everybody.
When I was a young kid growing up, looking in the mirror, dreaming about blowing up the rock crowds, make money, chill with the honeys, sign autographs, and whatever the people want from me. Shit's funny how impossible dreams manifest in the games that be coming with it.
Hey, one of you bananas have a lighter? This guy's got one on a leash. Make some noise for this fucking couch right here. Let them hear it. Isn't that great? I'm lighting a joint just because I can, not because I want to. I'm stealing your lighter. Look at that. Can we please give it up for Toronto? And can we please give it up for Canada? Look at this. Come on. Oh, come on. Give it up. We're all smoking weed in a giant lounge. Let's do this. Now, they're coming. That was so fast. There's a snitch in here. Snitch, where you at? Some one guy in the back. I'm so sorry, man. They made me wear a wire, and then I came in and I liked it, but I was too late, bro. They're coming. It'd be great if cops came in here right now. Imagine that. We're all criminals. Isn't that great right now? Look, we're all criminals. We're all breaking the law right now. And guess what? Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody in here gives a fuck. Because imagine cops came in here right now, broke the door. Hey, nobody move! We'd all look at them and be like, huh, no, duh, nobody move. This guy's sleeping. Shut the fuck up. The guy who's sleeping hears that cops come in. He just closes his eyes, fake sleep. Yo, dog, cops are here. Yo, I'm sleeping. Shut the fuck up. None of us would panic. None of us would panic because all of us have had to deal with cops. If you've been smoking weed for longer than 5 years, probably make some noise if you've been smoking weed longer than 5 years. Let me hear you right now. That's a lot of us. If you've been smoking weed longer than 5 years, you've had to deal with cops, especially if you smoked weed in high school. Because in high school you have to smoke in weird places because you can't smoke at your own house because you're 16, you don't have your own house. Then you have to smoke in people's backyards or laneways because it's outside, or in schoolyards or in laneways or wherever the fuck you can smoke without feeling like you're gonna get caught. All of us have smoked in the weirdest fucking places. If you've never smoked in the tube in the schoolyard, like in the little playground, that little red tube where you and your friends are like, yo, no one's ever gonna find us in here, bro. One little kid comes, he's like, hello, you're like, get the fuck out. Ah! Shh. All of us have had to deal with cops. All of us have had to deal with cops on weird situations. If you've never been, man, have you ever been smoking a joint in a park, and right when you finish smoking your joint, you see cops roll by on bikes, and you're just like, oh, look at these fucking fairies. Look at these fucks on their little shorts in the summer. Ring, ring. Hey, you guys smoking dope? No? All right. You ever, especially in the car, when you're younger and you see cops and you're driving with your friends, that shit's fucking serious because you're 16 years old. Do you remember that? If you were being 16 and everything would change as soon as you and your friends would see cops in the neighborhood? If you were just driving, smoking weed, everything's cool until you seen the cops. Because you're burning, you know? Just 5 guys in a car, you're 16. The kid driving is having a good time, but not really because it's his mom's car. So all the windows are down. He's like, yo, man, blow the smoke out the window. I don't want no smoke in here. Keep the joint below the window so the car, yo, I got Febreze, every toke, spray some Febreze. And do you remember how funny shit was as soon as you seen cops? Because everything would be cool. You'd be like, yo, man, hey, you gonna pass that joint? Hey, cops, hey, everybody act cool, Hey, man, we were acting cool. Now we look like we have fucking heroin in our ass, bro. Relax, man, these cops don't know shit. Sure they don't. 5 kids in a car looking straight. Nobody's saying a word. Everybody's looking straight and talking. Yo, cops, don't look. Spark smokes. I don't even smoke. Shut the fuck up and smoke. One kid in the back is dying. I don't smoke cigarettes. You guys open the windows. Shut the fuck up. We gotta cover the smell of weed. Everybody's freaking out. The cops aren't even watching until you start freaking out. The cops are in the corner, and you're like, yo, relax. These cops don't know shit. Sure they don't. Those cops turn the corner and they go, hey, kid, hey, look at those kids over there. Which ones? The ones freaking out. Look. They're yelling at the kid at the back. Are they smoking with the cigarettes? Are they smoking cigarettes with the windows up? You want to pull them over? Nah, man, they're already scared. So what do you want to do? Let's follow them for 10 minutes. Let's just see what happens. You ever been in that situation? Everybody in the car is high. It's like 2 a.m. Cops should start following you no matter what turn you make. They're not pulling you over, and you can see them staring right at you, too. You're like, what the fuck? Yo, everybody chill out. One guy in the back is free. Everybody starts freaking out. One guy in the back. Yo, I got a knife. What the fuck? Why? Everybody changes when cops pull you over, too. Everybody changes. The driver is always tough. He has to be tough. Because if the driver is shook, everybody's shook. But if the driver's like, yo, we're good, man. Just fucking stash your weed in your nuts. And you see everybody. Everybody just starts moving to the nuts. Just people packing their nuts. If the cops got out, everybody's got nuts full of weed just walking around. Hey, you guys got nuts full of weed? Yeah, cry, yeah, I got it. Shit's fucked. Everybody changes. You always have one friend. If you get pulled over by cops and there's weed in the car, he turns around, he's the lawyer. Yo, hey, everybody chill the fuck out. These cops can't do shit. Don't admit that you have drugs. Do not incriminate yourself. And you're like, yo, what the fuck? How do you know this shit? He's like, bro, shut the fuck up. Don't say anything. You have one friend who will never talk to you again. You ever have that friend gets caught with smoking weed with you? Even if it's not cops, you get caught by somebody's mom. The next day, you're like, yo, you want to come hang? He's like, nah, man. I just got to do my own thing tonight. What are you going to do? Nah, hang with you, bro. Why? I can't hang with you, bro. You guys smoke weed? You guys get me in trouble? Bro, shut the fuck up. That's our response, bro. Shut the fuck up. Our generation is the shut the fuck up generation. Because we just don't give a shit. We know how long we're going to live. We know what's good and kind of what's bad. We understand that we got fucked by the system. Prohibition on marijuana isn't a real thing. Especially in Canada, it doesn't make any sense. Canadians love weed. If we could smoke weed and watch hockey in the ACC, we would. If they made it one day where it was like $100 a ticket, everybody could smoke weed inside, buddy, we'd have to do it in the Sky Dome. And then for one day, they'd be like, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the High Dome. Even the guy talking on the announcer's high, he's like, all right, we got ourselves the first period here, but you know what I'm saying? We're going to have ourselves a little intermission. Man. Yo, aren't the players so small from here? We should sit closer, no? He's all high talking about shit. Well, this goalie can't stop shit. They suck. Yo, don't ash that. Watch out. Smoking weed at home, too, was a funny thing. A lot of us start. Have you ever smoked weed at home at your parents' house, is what I'm asking. Make some noise if you ever smoked weed at your parents' house. Let me hear you. That shit's fun, too. That's an adventure, isn't it? Do you remember that shit? Do you remember being like 16 years old? It's like 2, 3 in the morning or some shit. And you're like, yo, I just want to smoke weed, but I can't go outside. I'm going to wake up everybody. What are you? You're like, I got to smoke inside. You ever set up your room the first time you don't know what you're doing? You put like a towel under the door. You're like, I got this. That towel's good. And you walk to the window. You have your little shitty high school pipe that you bought, little metal pipe with Bob Marley's face on it. If you never had that shitty little metal pipe, you're missing out. $10, Hot Box Cafe. Woo, woo. You hear your little pipe bowl. You ever smoke weed and try to blow it out a window without a fan there? What happens? 10 times stronger than you blew it out. You're like, yo, I'll just blow it out the window. It's like the weed is like, nah, it's cold, not what? And your whole house now smells like weed. You're walking around, one token, spraying Febreze, having a heart attack, sitting on the couch. You're like, yo, I'm so fucking high and nervous at the same time. Oh, it wasn't even worth it. I should have just fucking gone to sleep. You're just nervous. Your mom is walking. She's going to the washroom. You're like, she's coming for me. She fucking knows. My mom caught me one time. I got caught by my parents. If you ever got caught by your parents, you're lucky. But you're also not smoking enough weed. Because after a while, you don't give a shit. If you smoked a lot of weed, eventually, if you were living at your parents' house, you didn't give a fuck. You got to 18 years old, you're like, what, you don't respect me? I'm your fucking kid. I want to smoke some weed. What's wrong? Love me for me, not for my weed. I have immigrant parents. I tell my mom, a little Portuguese lady, Ma, you got to love me for me. I love you. I hate you. What? I love you. Yeah? I hate you. Okay, I don't get it. Because you is the drug. And I should be like, yeah, Mikey, I don't have son no more. I have drug. That's it. Okay. You're gonna... People ask me, how's Mikey? I go, drugs? I don't know. I don't like drugs. That's Mikey. Immigrant parents are funny, aren't they? Because they don't have levels of drugs. When Canadian parents, listen, my friend, Charlie, we used to call him Charles and we used to call him Char. He got caught smoking weed when we were 17 years old by his mom, a white lady. And you know what she complained about? All the food we ate. She walked in and she goes, I goddamn knew you guys were smoking pot. Yesterday I went to the fridge for a Joe Louis and there weren't any. And we bought 12 the other day. And all of us looked at each other. We all started laughing. She goes, you guys think that's funny? Why you guys could all just go fuck yourselves? You know how funny that is when you're high and you come from immigrant parents? You're like, wow, your mom's tripping. But when my Portuguese mom caught me smoking weed, it was the end of her life. It was like I got shot. She walked out and she seen me talking on my veranda. She goes, Mikey, you wanna? Oh no! Oh no! Oh yeah! Marijuana! Every day I come home, I go, I smell skunk. It's you! It's you! You know, one of your funny stories, one time she caught me smoking a bong, and I had skipped school, and she caught me hitting my bong, and it changed her life forever. Because she came home, and she heard the sound of the bong, and she wanted to see what it was, and when she found that it was me, it blew her fucking mind. Because I was skipping school. It's 12 in the afternoon on like a Tuesday. So she comes home, she's not expecting anybody to be home. I'm supposed to be at school. So she hears the noise, and it's just me watching TV, hitting a bong. I'm like, yo, sick, skipping school, fuck life. I'm gonna work at McDonald's, but who cares, because I got kush. You know, you're 16, who gives a shit? Life's not important at 16. My mom walks in, and she caught me hitting a bong, but the noise blew her mind. And she walked in, and you ever watch the movie Crash, when everything comes together? That's what it was like. She opened the door, and she went, noise, drugs, Mikey, marijuana. Now I know everything! And it was so good. And she came home, and she goes, she just opens the door, and she goes, oh, Mikey, you home? Oh, no. Now I know, Mikey. Now I know. And she never let that go. She goes, now I know. Mikey, I'm not mad. You smoke drugs, but it's okay. I know now. Listen, every night, and she started telling me the story about how she hears the bong every night when I come home. And she goes, every night, you come home, and I hear you come home very quiet. You take your shoes, you go to your room, turn on TV, very quiet. And you think I don't hear you, but I hear everything. And I hear you. 5 minutes, 6 minutes later, I hear that noise. And she couldn't do a bong noise because she doesn't know what the fuck it is. She doesn't understand. So she'd go, and I hear that and I go, what is this noise? Maybe it's pipe, maybe it's fridge, toilet, I don't know, maybe something broken. And I go, what is that noise? Now I know. It's you and the drugs, Mikey. And after you do the drugs, you go downstairs and you touch all the food. Your chips, cereal, fridge, oven. Then you come back and again. And every night I go, what is this noise? Now I know. It's you and your drugs. And mommy's no mad. And I went and I'm like, this is insane. She was just so happy, like, mommy no mad. Because I think it's pipe that's broken, but it's no pipe broken, it's you broken. And I was devastated. I was like, what? I'm no broken. My mother thinks I'm broken. My mother has thought that I have been broken since I was a little kid. She used to catch me doing weird shit. My mom caught me one time as a little kid trying to turn into a Super Saiyan from Dragon Ball Z. I swear to God. I used to love Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z because he had this huge hairline. It was like an M, and I have that too. You see this shit? And as a kid, I was like, yo, I'm fucking Vegeta. I'm fucking halfway there. And I wasn't. My mom caught me. It was great. Wait up. Okay. We have a pretty young audience today. What is that, like 15? Yeah. Okay. I'll do one more thing. We have a young audience in here tonight, which is nice. A lot of us grew up on the same cartoons, and I'm sure a lot of us watch what the fuck kids are watching nowadays. But have you ever seen like little kid cartoons that are just weird as fuck? Like little kid cartoons nowadays, there's no heart in it because it's so easy to animate. So you can just create something, throw 3 voices, hi kids, and that's it. It's a fucking cartoon. Do you remember when we were kids? We had cartoons that needed to have fucking educational value because there was a huge budget behind this shit. Nowadays, I mean, there's a show that's so popular, it's insane. You guys know it and I know it. It's Dora the Explorer. Have you ever seen what this little bitch does? It's insane. She talks to the TV and waits for an answer. She'll walk up to the screen and be like, hey kids, do you want to go find the treasure? Okay, let's go. And it was weird because the first time it got my attention, my nephew's just watching it, and I heard her ask a question, and I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, wait, who the fuck just asked that? And that's stupid. Because you remember what we had when we were little kids? Do you remember great shows when you were little kids? Do you remember, I loved it when we had real people as little kid, shows. Like, remember how great Mr. Dressup was? Mr. Dressup was insane because it was this fucking half-an-hour show, Canadian guy, going off, making everything easy. He made fucking puppets out of toilet paper rolls. You're like, this guy's the fucking man. He'd sit in front of that piece of white paper and he'd be like, look, I'm gonna draw a boat. And you'd be like, come on, Dressup, how are you gonna draw a boat? And he'd be like, watch, triangle, line down the middle, you under it, connected, boat. And you're like, that's a fucking boat. This guy's the man. And he taught you about the basics of art, but that was just the beginning of your art life. Because as you got older, what was the greatest art show? Isn't it amazing how they did it? Just me saying art show, you already know. Art Attack. How great was Art Attack growing up, though? Right? Holy fuck. Art Attack was insane, and whoever put that in the rotation is a genius. They put it at 4 o'clock. You just got home from school. You're like, what the fuck am I going to watch? Boom, a show that's almost like school, but way better. Let me sit here and watch. Remember how great the intro was? Because they would just show something and be like, this is an alt attack. This is an alt attack. This is, oh, and you're like, oh, yes, sick. Right, and it would zoom in on the British guy and he'd be like, hello, welcome to alt attack. Let's fucking do this. And he'd just be jacked. And he'd do shit that you could never do. And the best part of that show was when he'd do the giant art attack at the end. And he'd just be in a room that's all black with like salt, and he'd be like, let's see what happens. And it's like an hour later, it's like 2 hockey players and shit. You're like, what the fuck? This guy's insane. Nobody even gives a shit. They're like, yeah, fuck Neil. Child show. We had good shows. We had good shows. Yeah, beautiful shows. One of our best shows wasn't even a real show. It was 5 minutes in between Art Attack and Arthur. It was a show called Pingu. How good was Pingu? How good was it? You know why Pingu's so good? I'm going to refresh it right now. Pingu's so fucking good because it didn't have any talking. And when you're a little kid, that means your imagination gets to fill in what the fuck they're saying. So when he'd be on screen like, la, 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 you'd be going like, oh, he's going, what the fuck? Remember when he'd get mad, he wouldn't do, la, la, la. Pingu's pissed, yo. This seal, la, la. That seal's pissed too, yo. Pingu, Pingu.
Yeah, I want to send out a shout out.
Did you guys take my lighter? Yeah. How'd you get that shit? Okay. Just because I can, you know? It's my job. Imagine you had a job that you could just spark a joint. Imagine you work at Loblaws in the meat department. Yo, yo! Turkey! Ham's on sale. I don't give a fuck. The best job I wish somebody who smoked weed would be the weatherman. And the weatherman just comes in and he'd be like, all right. Right here, it's cloudy. All right, so. And then he'd be like, all right, down here, people in Lower Ontario, you got to stay in your house to burn this afternoon. You guys are going to catch rain. Don't be, don't get caught outside in the park burning a joint. Don't wet your joint. Well, the worst thing, I don't give a fuck if a raindrop hits my joint, but if you ever have somebody with wet lips smoke your joint and then they give it back to you, because you're not expecting it. And in that 1 second between their lips and yours, it gets cold, you know? So you're just getting this cold moisture. You're like, yo, let me hit that. Ow, what the fuck? The fuck is this? And some guy's like, it's just fried lips. Yeah.
Dude, don't.
Okay. I gotta get the fuck out. Regardless, it was a blast performing for you guys. You guys were a great audience. I've been Mike Rita. Thank you so much, everybody. Hey, thank you so much.
Nevertheless, you got to go for the gusto, but you don't know about the blood, sweat, and tears, and losing some of your peers, and losing some of yourself.
Mike Rita, everybody.
Hopefully it don't manifest.
Mike Rita. That is our show. I hope you had a good time. Did you have a good time tonight? Yeah, you did. Sure you did.